Last year, I had the idea of taking Pokemon Nuzlockes and putting it into Deltarune, and it did so well at the time that I decided to do a randomizer Nuzlocke, a hardcore Nuzlocke, and even return to the first Nuzlocke. Unbeknownst to me, however, a mod existed for Chapter 1 that immediately put my idea to shame. If you're a Pokemon fan like I am, then you're gonna love this mod. After we start the game, we are asked to choose between 3 difficulty settings, and you all know we're going with hard. And right before battling Lancer, we can choose our starter. I chose Suzy, took a quick glance at the battle menu, and tried with the attack button. My initial plan was to ban dodging so we could get the full Pokemon experience, but even though some phantom character gets attacked instead of Suzy here, enemies deal way too much damage for it to be a reasonable rule. I tried to catch Lancer, but I failed a 29% chance right before he sent us back to the lab. On attempt 2, I picked Lancer as my starter. However, he hits like a Chansey, so my hopes and dreams are quickly eliminated. I fell back to Suzy, who has a considerably higher attack stat, and didn't even bother catching Lancer. I chose to fight the Ralsei dummy in hopes of catching it instead, and after sitting through the battle tutorial, Ralsei gifted me a powerful Master Ball to snatch it. And although it says I caught it, when I checked my inventory, I instantly knew the game lied to me. Luckily, we won't be doing a solo run for long, because once we pass through the Great Door, we come across a Rudin, who after attacking once, easily gets in the ball. His stats aren't great, but at least he alerted me to the use of magic attacks. Before we took a look at how strong those can be, I caught a duplicate Rudin, replaced it with a Haythie in the very next room, and came across my first chest. Since we can't use armor in this mod, every chest containing one yields a Pokeball instead. Lancer throws us into a battle with 3 Haythies, and now is probably a good time to show off Suzy's Rude Buster. By spending 50 TP like in the original game, Suzy unleashes a beam that deals a ton of damage to a single target. Rudin's knife throw is pretty much the same, just dealing slightly less damage, and although they deal massive amounts of damage, having to spend turns defending or risk grazing hardly makes them worth using, bearing in mind that most Chapter 1 enemies don't have a lot of health. We ran straight into C-Round, who I attempted to capture, but the odds weren't in my favor, hence I just killed it and entered the first shop of the game. Here we can buy potions and Pokeballs, so I sold all of my non-Pokemon items, bought 3 potions, and used the rest of my money to get a single Pokeball. We lock eyes with Lancer again, and he sends out 3 Jigsawries to fight us. They die pretty easily, so I had to be careful when trying to catch one, and after just 1 ball, it joined my team. Its stats are the same as Rudin's, but it has the Pacify spell instead of Knife Throw. I went ahead and tested it out, which works just like how you'd expect it, and then we found a Pondman, who had a 62% catch rate, but he kept breaking out of the Pokeballs, so I had Rudin and Jigsaw team up against the second Pondman that was caught after 1 ball, and to my surprise, Pondman is actually pretty good with an attack of 5. It doesn't matter how much attack you have for K-Round though, because annoyingly, he still heals if you damage him too much. I tried a Pokeball, but the chance was only 12%, and I had only 1 ball left. Never punished. Let me just say, K-Round is not as good as you think it is. Sure, he has a lot of health and 1 more attack than Pondman, as well as some defense, but let's just pull up Suzy's stats real quick. I think that speaks for itself. I really needed to get more Pokeballs, but I had nowhere near enough money, so unfortunately, I had to hold off catching Rabbik. Except it ended up dropping a Pokeball on Feint, so I rushed towards the next Rabbik and caught it with no difficulty. He has the same attack power as K-Round, so we'll be keeping him on the team for a little while. Emphasis on little, because after picking up another Pokeball from this chest, I grabbed a Bloxer and swapped Rabbik out. With Clover coming up, I had to get a lot more Pokeballs. Fortunately, this mod respawns all the enemies, so we can grind some money to fill my inventory. In addition, I sold the potions I bought earlier since I never had a reason to use them, and now that I'm all stocked up, I headed back to fight Clover. She had approximately a 64% catch rate, so how many balls do you think it took to capture her? 5. And it wasn't even worth the effort because she's only slightly better than a Rudin. But now that I've caught every species in the area, we can speedrun through the maze until Lancer and a rival Suzy approach us. Because I already had Suzy, I chose to focus on Lancer, albeit his stats are really weak. But hey, anything's better than spending several turns whittling his HP down. I stumbled into a horde of Rudin Rangers, and after blocking out, we find ourselves in prison. I walked straight up to the Iron Shackles, but naturally, it broke into many pieces. disappointed that there were no held items. I ate the moss, got saved by Susie, and fought against Lancer for the last time. I was honestly shocked at how they did this battle. Normally Susie just attacks without any input, but here we still have our menu, and can attack just like any other battle. If you're wondering what the other buttons do, I just attacked him the entire time, so I don't even know myself. With access to the castle, I caught one of those Rune Rangers, who will be staying in the box despite having a better attack than K-Round, because we're about to come face to face with the legendary of the Card Kingdom. After spending a couple turns chipping away at his HP, I decided to waste a ball to check his catch rate, because there wasn't a chance I'd catch him just 3 turns in. I stand corrected. We get a Master Ball as a reward, but it wouldn't be fun to catch the remaining 2 species at a Master Ball, so after using a regular rolled Pokeball to catch the evolution of Hathey, I sold it to Rules. My last task was to catch King. And did anyone forget this is a Nuzlocke? I got hit here and there throughout the run, but I've never taken enough damage to result in a death. Maybe if I didn't catch Jevil on the 3rd turn, but come on, that was all skill. Same with capturing King on my first try. And just like that, my regional Pokédex was complete, and who knows? Maybe I'll upload some real Pokemon videos this year. Maybe.